I'm sorry, Doctor, but we'll need your help in the lab.
Greetings, people. I come in peace. Honey catches more flies than vinegar, they say. Don Charles has been showing up in a lot of interviews lately, and for good reason. His charge, his protege, his star pupil has achieved beyond expectations. I'm happy for Don. He's getting the attention and the accolade he's always wanted. Don deserves a lot of credit. He's suited and comfortable teaching strong, come-forward fighters. But how much of Daniel's success was down to Don only? And how much was Daniel's father's input? Daniel's father said he liked working with Don because he listens to him.
Don's a very passionate guy and he puts his art into what he does, and if it's working out, it's working out. Not much to question about it when we're winning. It's only when we're losing I start questioning.
How much input do you have on what they do?
What, in the gym?
Yeah.
Quite a lot. They listen to me. I tell them what, you know.
And is that in terms of tactics for a particular fight?
Yeah, I tell them the tactics as well. And they listen. That's what I like about Don. A lot of the other coaches wouldn't listen. They think they know it all, innit? But I'm a special guy. And I'm a very spiritual person, you know. And because of that, sometimes I just get it spot on.
He does as he's told. Most of the others didn't. It was also conspicuous how Daniel thanked his father in the ring after the AJ fight and said nothing about Don's input. Extremely unusual thing to do, which makes me think there was something going on in the camp. Now Don's gloating in interviews, taking centre stage, when just before the fight there was speculation if he was still in a job. Whatever's going on internally in that camp, I don't know, but Don isn't presenting himself affectionately. I understand a little self-promotion and vindication for what he's done for his ward, his client, his fighter. That's to be expected. But to be bitterly displeased and offended by differing opinions to his is just unnecessarily immature and ridiculous. Don Charles said on TalkSport that they should all lose their jobs because they got their predictions wrong.
In particular, you've got it wrong every time, my dear friend. Every wrong, badly wrong. Yeah.
What with Daniel, you mean?
Yeah, your predictions. Without I don't want you to say, "Oh, Daniel's gonna win."
Not
It's just the
against
way.
you,
No,
you know
wait.
that.
It's just the way you say. This is deeper because remember I keep bringing the age into it. I'm a very wise old man.
You are.
And when someone speaks, I've also become a psychologist. I didn't get a degree in it, but human psychology. I study human. You get your job wrong, you get sacked. How many times are you guys gonna get it wrong and you still keep your job? Because what you don't realize, one second, all you experts, this is not just Gareth, it just happens Gareth is here in front of me. All you experts, reporters, you don't know the consequences or the consequence, your predictions and the impact it has on people's lives.
Mm-hmm.
This is, you guys don't know. You haven't got an idea. You haven't got a clue. You haven't got a clue. But you experts should examine the coach before you make your prediction. This is your job. Yeah? If I'm not a wicked man because you've all got families to feed, I would say you should all lose your job based on your predictions.
No, well, I think...
So, according to that logic, Roy Keane, Micah Richards, and Gary Neville should lose their jobs for giving their honest opinions that doesn't come to fruition. Really? Sports pundits, commentators and content creators are not soothsayers or prophets, and they don't aim to be. They are giving their assumptions, assessments and speculations on a sporting outcome. Sometimes they are right, sometimes they are wrong. They are employed to give insight on the possibilities, the theorems and estimations on viable outcomes. You know, I believe some people don't get where they want because they have overbearing personalities. They can have all the talent in the world, but they create friction unnecessarily. And if somehow they gain power, they become megalomaniacs. In the same interview, Don said Alexander Usyk is a fake and a liar. He said Usyk is a guy that calls himself a God-fearing man, but he cheats.
Tell him, okay, this is actually personal. I shouldn't make it personal. It's always about the fighters. It really is, and it still is about the fighters. I don't get Mr. Usyk. It's fake. Can do exceptional, but he's a fake and he's a liar and a cheat.
In what?
Excuse me. He is a guy who says he's a God-fearing man. He's always crossing himself. People who, if you believe in the same God, this is going out to Usyk. If you believe in the same God that I and the world population, what we refer to as God, one of the 10 commandments, you cannot cheat. That's against one of the 10 commandments. So you can't, you see, make your mind up. Do you worship God or not? Because if you do, the cheating and the...
I'm done. I'm done.
Referring to the low blow from Daniel Dubois on Usyk. Well, I think it was a low blow. Usyk did play on it a bit, and I think he was genuinely hurt. But that's the rules. If you are hit low, you can take up to 5 minutes to recover. Does that make Usyk a fake person or a fake Christian? Of course not. If we are going to be ultra-sensitive, sanctimonious and pious with our Christianity, then let's put you under the spotlight. It wasn't very Christian when you threatened to punch people in the mouth if they said Daniel quit against Joe Joyce and Alexander Usyk. It's not very Christian being so bitter and unforgiving. It's not very Christian to hold grudges, particularly when people politely disagree with your opinions. It's not very Christian to encourage your fighter to be dirty, to hit low and use his head. Why do you associate with someone that has questionable beliefs that are incompatible with Christianity? You see, we can go on and on and on. Glass houses and throwing stones comes to mind. Or, on a biblical note,
Thou hypocrite, first remove the beam from thine own eyes, and then shalt thou see clearly to remove the speck out of thy brother's eye.
maybe you should have thought about that scripture before you brought up the commandments. It's a little bit like Tyson Fury, using Christianity on your terms only, but the rules don't apply to you. Anyway, how many boxing trainers play the victim when things don't go their way? I personally think Don Charles lacks dignity. He might make some good points occasionally, but his inadequacy in self-regulation and absence of emotional mastery, restraint, leaves him looking like a petulant child suffering from persecution syndrome. He needs to be more stately, even stoic, something becoming of his age and experience. It seems to me people want to give him his due, but he's getting in his own way, shooting himself in the foot. He's coming across as both bully and victim. I hope he's got it all off his chest now and calms down. Anyway, thanks for listening, and remember, choose life.
My whole career of coaching, I've coached fighters like Derek Chisora, Frank Bellionis, Miles Shinkwins. I've won 5 British titles in 5 different weight categories, multiple Southern Area titles, multiple Commonwealth titles, multiple 2 European titles, countless international titles, 2 prize fighter champions. Now, you don't do all these titles without having something about you. Again, with fighters who, they're not, without disrespecting them, for them to have gone to achieve what they achieved, they weren't considered as top grade fighters that I worked with. Mm-hmm. Yeah? And we still achieved. And I'm very proud of them. So going back to what you asked me.
Who cares?